and Democratic elite, Beto. And speaking of which, in 18 days, Texas voters, they're going to have a clear choice between Senator Cruz, a constitutionalist, a proven conservative, and Beto O'Rourke, a longtime left-wing candidate who once actually got a DUI, fled the scene of a car crash, lied about it after crashing into another car while being intoxicated and wasted. Now, Beto is joining his fellow Democrats. They're actually pushing for Trump's impeachment. Oh, Texas, I hope you're paying very close attention.
You said in July that you would, as a member of the House right now, vote to impeach. Have you changed your mind?
I haven't. To answer your question, I do think there's enough there for impeachment. And if asked, I would vote on it.
And don't forget, who is he obliged to listen to? You have millions and millions of out-of-state dollars pouring into Texas to help Beto O'Rourke. So, Texas, do you really want someone with the same exact views as Maxine Waters and Peach 45 leading your state? And meanwhile, a little farther west in Arizona, the race between war hero Martha McSally was on with us earlier this week, and a bizarre far-left radical activist named Kristen Sinema. Now, this week we have shown you example after example of Sinema's disturbing past. In Arizona, Martha McSally, war hero, well, she's taking on Kristen Sinema, a woman with a very bizarre, disturbing past. Back in 2010, Sinema actually called the state of Arizona, she wants their votes, the meth lab of democracy. She was also caught on tape multiple times calling Arizonans crazy. She wants your vote. And Sinema even made fun of her state for being famous, but only in a Lindsay Lohan kind of way. And it gets even worse. In 2003, she suggested it's just fine. It's okay for Americans to go fight for the Taliban. She also promoted events at Arizona State University featuring a far-left radical lawyer who represented the blind sheikh. And by the way, Sinema also organized an anti-war rally while Martha McSally was fighting for her country. With self-described, she invited witches to the rally. And this week, the RNC used Sinema's own words against her in this brand new ad. Take a look.
Democrats, Greens, Independents, Anarchists, Socialists, Communists, whoever wants to come, they're all welcome tomorrow. I know that in talking with groups that are coming, I've said, think about how the police are going to react to what you wear and what you say, and whatever decision you make is your choice.
Well, thankfully, McSally is currently surging in the polls, and for good reason. Meanwhile, in the great state of Tennessee, we have a shocking new poll showing Republican, friend of the show, Marsha Blackburn, is actually down 1 point against Democratic challenger, former Governor Phil Bredesen. But remember, Bredesen was exposed this week as being a two-faced, lying, fraud, phony liberal pretending to be a moderate. He was campaigning under the guise that he would support the Kavanaugh nomination, but his staff caught on camera by ProjectVeritas.com saying the exact opposite. Say one thing to get elected, but really represent your special interest friends. The New York Chuck Schumer way of voting in the Senate. Take a look.
Because, I mean, he wouldn't really, right?
What?
Vote for Kavanaugh?
I don't think so.
But I was so confused because I just can't believe that he would actually vote yes. Like
he wouldn't. But he's saying he would.
It's politics.
Which I don't know if that makes it worse or better. No, it makes it better, but it's still.
But what's the, I don't understand what's to gain by saying yes.
Moderate Republicans.
A vote for Bredesen would be a vote against due process, a vote against truth and honesty, a vote against presumption of innocence. Coming up, we're going to have a preview of 3 close Senate races with candidates from Michigan, Missouri, and Indiana tonight. And let's not forget about where I am. Now we have in the state of Florida 2 very important races. Governor Rick Scott currently busy here leading recovery efforts in the Panhandle after Hurricane Michael. Time and time again, Governor Rick Scott has successfully guided Florida through all of these natural disasters, all while molding his state into one of the most competitive business climates in the country. He's running for Senate against a Chuck Schumer reliable vote by the name of Bill Nelson, who frankly has been in Washington way too long. This is now the 76-year-old's 18th year on Capitol Hill. Time for Florida to send him home. And in the Florida race for governor, the choice is simple, obvious, and clear. You can vote for a Republican, Ron DeSantis, who is going to keep Florida on the cutting edge of innovation and economic success, a former Navy JAG officer and congressman, or a socialist mayor, who, by the way, is under investigation, named Andrew Gillum, who wants to raise business taxes by 40%. Let me warn Florida, Gillum will be a disaster for the state of Florida. 40%, you won't have any new business, and other business will be fleeing Florida. So let me be clear about your choices as it relates to this election. If you care about due process, if you care about the rule of law, Constitution, if you care about a booming economy, your paycheck, your safety, your security, and securing our borders, you better get your ass to the polls. There's a lot at stake in 18 days. And as Rush Limbaugh told us yesterday, right here on this program, this is a fight for the foundations of our country and principles we hold near and dear. There's a lot at stake. Joining us now, Michigan Senate candidate John James, Missouri Senate candidate Josh Hawley, Indiana Senate candidate Mike Braun. Mike, we'll start with you in Indiana. You're facing